Hello, my name is James Gribben, and this is Supporting Online Learning Issues and Solutions. So, if I were in charge of a group of online teachers, I believe in supporting them as thoroughly as possible. The theoretical framework that I believe would be the best way to offer support to online educators is the community of inquiry. For the new to online teaching teacher, I would foster several professional developments that aimed at empowering educators to install the community of inquiry framework. Garrison, Anderson, and Archer created this theory that introduces three different elements, or in their words, online presences, that interact to create deep learning in online communities. The purpose of equipping online the purpose of equipping online teachers with this theory is to help ensure that learning occurs in a deeper, more meaningful way for students and goes beyond just interacting with information on a screen. According to Garrison, the benefits of this theoretical framework extends to create communities of learners actively and collaboratively engaged in exploring, creating meaning, and confirming understanding. And those three presences for community of inquiry are teaching presence, cognitive presence, and social presence. According to Garrison, teaching presence has three responsibilities: design, facilitation, and direct instruction. Design must include social and cognitive elements. Designing courses with collaboration and constructivism in mind is imperative for teachers. Design also refers to the layout of the digital components on the web page and how students interact with them. Teachers should also design their courses with intention, allowing students to easily navigate the course. The second element of teaching presence is facilitation, where teachers have to find a sweet spot in this presence that they have within their online classes. Depending on the activity that is being facilitated, the instructor has to understand their role as the facilitator of learning, rather than being too present or not present enough to meet their students' needs. Another way to view the facilitator would be clarifier, someone who makes things just a little clearer. The third element of teaching presence is direct instruction. When the time comes to offer students insight on misconceptions, summarize concepts, or conflict resolution, online teachers must be able to offer direct instructions as well. There's always a time for teachers to intervene to channel students into a different direction if they are off course and they really need explanations at times to provide a basis for the concepts that are being discovered. The second presence is social presence. Online teachers have to be able to facilitate the opportunities for their students to see one another as people and to project themselves into discussions and community-minded events that are digital when necessary. Throughout his research, Garrison reiterates the importance of the student's ability to see how the student fits within the group. The third presence is cognitive presence. The process behind cognitive presence is to have learners recognize, explore, and reflect on their learning experiences. Students are given an event and they must inquire as to how the event can be reconciled almost completely on their own while the teacher acts only as facilitator. So, in order to foster growth in the online teacher's abilities to create these presences, the first strategy that I would suggest is to offer three distinct professional developments opportunities for the teachers to attend and hone their skills in respect to communities of inquiry. The first is a course design uh, professional development. I would create a professional development that enabled teachers by the end of the modules to plan, develop, and deliver online materials. This would include professional development sessions on that learning management system that we use in our institution. I would highly encourage synchronous meetings that were held by the instructor at the start of each module to lay the foundation for successful module completion. Finally, there would be clear expectations about the delivery of timely feedback. Modeling and etiquette. I would offer professional development on the ways to clearly communicate expectations and to create expectation through assignments, evaluations tools as well. To me, the social presence for the instructor is all about guiding the learner through their journey and facilitating that learning rather than being the place for them to go and create meaning. Finally, the finally I would offer a professional development on critical thinking. And critical thinking is how teachers can design activities that satisfy learning objectives while also giving teachers the abilities to create project-based or inquiry-based learning opportunities. These, coupled with reflection, which is the biggest part of the puzzle according to Garrison, is why I would give this opportunity to teachers to help them create a great foundation. The second strategy that I would implement to support new to online teaching teachers is communities of practice. While significantly close in namesake with communities of inquiry, communities of practice differs vastly. A community of practice is usually created and maintained by someone who is of similar profession, connecting teachers with teachers, while communities of inquiry are more directed towards ways to get students involved in their own learning. Julie Golden said it best when she said communities of practice focus on creating a sense of trust and ownership, allows the participants to empower them with the feeling of more control over the charge being thrust upon them. These communities are created for individuals to be able to seek advice, share materials, address and share issues, connect to others in the same field of work, troubleshoot issues, model techniques, help others motivate themselves, and promoting self-learning. So some issues in learning. The first issue that I wanted to address is assessment. Moving from the in-person or face-to-face classroom to online classroom can provide some real obstacles. So the first issue I'd like to talk is the need to recreate assessments. When providing work for students online, there are so many different avenues for them to turn in work that is academically dishonest. There are applications available today where students can take pictures of their math homework, and a bot somewhere recognizes the problem and creates step-by-step solution for the problem. We can type whatever we want into AI programs and they can talk about just about anything at length. How are we able to create assessments where students can no longer do this? So the first solution to recreating assessments is authentic assessments. Teachers must be willing to utilize authentic assessments in their courses. Moving towards authentic assessments like group projects, problem-based learning, project-based learning, and others allow students to perform the skills needed to satisfy learning objectives while creating meaningful learning opportunities that they find in the world. These learning opportunities are generally more difficult to cheat on, and as Mafosa points out, promotes the attainment of higher order learning outcomes where the new Bloom's taxonomy places creation at the top of our education goals, and authentic assessment activities allow students to create artifacts while they're working. Issue number 2 is online content creation. So the second issue that I would help with is online content creation. The need to move from your content from in-person lectures to online only. This process can be quite time consuming to create, and it can be an overwhelming issue for teachers as they look to digitize their lessons. Although it has the potential to be a tremendous time sink, the end goal is being able to reuse the courses semester after semester. So the first thing that I would do in facing the issue of online content creation is I would create teams in departments. Rather than each of us making our own unique and personalized courses, we should make these courses together first and then personalize them later. Teachers from the same disciplines will work on their courses together and take the divide and conquer mentality towards accomplishing this monumental feat. Using AI tools to create curriculum maps and or to brainstorm potential online lesson ideas would be beneficial time savers. Issue number 3, identifying struggling students. Final issue that I would like to talk about is how to identify struggling students in our online classes. When we're face to face, that bewildered look or the avoidance of eye contact make it apparent when some students are not quite grasping a concept we would hope. If education is about creating meaningful learning opportunities, how do we identify students who are struggling and promote a sense of security for them to reach out and tell us why that they are? So the most obvious and quickest way to track student understanding is some sort of formal assessment at the end of a module. Whether it be a discussion or a quick quiz, there needs to be frequent assessments to help ensure understanding. Another way to detect struggling students is to see whether or not they're actually logging in. If they're not logging in or not logging in often enough and viewing materials, then they're probably not going to be successful in the course and they would need to help be corrected. So these are some of the things that I would do if I was put in charge of an online learning academy. I hope that everything is up to par. Here are my references. Thank you. Have a great day.